Alright guys, Wes here, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be diving deep into the world where Assassin's Creed and ninjas collide, setting the stage for what could be the ultimate Assassin's Creed experience. Now, if you didn't know, AC Codename Red is shaping up to be the dream game that every fan of the series has been waiting for. Despite its reveal being nearly 2 years ago, we're still kind of hanging in suspense without an official title, release window, or any glimpse of gameplay footage. However, the rumors and leaks hasn't stopped churning, which has of course provided us with a ton of details every month. Well, that's where things get pretty interesting, because according to a brand new leak, it might have just revealed the official title, as well as a hint on when Ubisoft might finally unveil this highly anticipated game. We have a lot to talk about in this video, so check the chapters for easy viewing and let's get into it. So first things first, let's get the leaked title out of the way. According to this leak, Assassin's Creed Codename Red is also known as Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now, this information comes from an alleged Ubisoft leaker who has fed reliable information to the internet in the past. The intel first started circulating over on Twitter by a username known as UbiFraxV2, and according to them, Codename Red has been referred internally as Shadows, and there are also going to be at least 2 expansions for this upcoming game. It's unknown just how big these expansions will be or how much they're going to cost, but assuming this leak is legit, which like I said, take it with a grain of salt, it could be completely false. Having 2 expansions is a pretty good sign that Ubisoft is moving towards a more substantial single player experience, as opposed to the more live service focused business model of other recent Assassin's Creed games in the franchise. Now, if I could just say, the title Assassin's Creed Shadows, if it is indeed real, is awesome in my opinion. The game is set in feudal Japan and has you playing as a shinobi warrior, so of course there's going to be a lot of stealth involved with the experience. Previous leaks have also stated that the stealth is going to play a major role in this game, and assuming you're playing to your strengths, you're going to be able to use the shadows to your advantage very frequently. And while I do think Assassin's Creed Red was a pretty cool title in its own right, like I mean, for a code name it sounds pretty great, we all knew that that wasn't going to be what was printed on the box. I think Assassin's Creed Shadows is a great title, especially for this kind of game, and it'll tonally stand out from the other Assassin's Creed subtitles. Now, with the game title seemingly leaking, like I said, I'm going to just say alleged one more time, this does somewhat increase the chances that Ubisoft confirms it earlier than they were planning to. It's been widely believed that Ubisoft is going to have some kind of teaser trailer in the next month or two, and that's when they will finally confirm the title, but I think if this leak ends up being legitimate, they might do some kind of title reveal earlier than that. I could totally see Ubisoft posting a teaser for the game on social media, then they could use that teaser as a way to kind of get people excited to watch the trailer when it eventually comes out. The teaser could be a short video, possibly an image, or just the word shadows, and just like post it without any context, which I think would be a super effective way to get people on board the hype train. But either way, we are not going to be waiting much longer for some kind of confirmation of the title. Ubisoft employees call this game the biggest blockbuster of 2024, so they're going to have to confirm the title sooner rather than later, right? That is if the game actually releases this year, but we'll talk more about a potential delay in a few minutes. Now, in case you missed the leaks from a few weeks ago, this game seems like it's something that we should be getting excited for, at least in my opinion. From everything we've heard, there are going to be 2 playable characters in Assassin's Creed Red, or I guess we can call it Assassin's Creed Shadows, those being a male samurai and a female shinobi. The samurai character is going to be much more of a melee focused and intimidating build, while the shinobi will be more about stealth and agility. It seems that both characters are going to have a ton of possible tools and techniques for you to acquire along your journey. It's also been stated that you could swap between the 2 characters throughout your playthrough, so you're allegedly not going to be locked to one of them for the whole story, which personally I think that's a great thing. It makes it so the player can get multiple perspectives on these same plot points while also getting a ton of variety in the gameplay. You'll also be able to completely customize your home base, which I think is a nice touch as well, to kind of make you feel like you're a bit more immersed in the game world. Now, there was also a report that actually confirmed that New Game Plus was going to be added to the game, as well as transmog that will be returning from Assassin's Creed Odyssey. These 2 features will not be available on day 1 allegedly, so I guess this confirms that at least one major content patch for Assassin's Creed Red or Shadows is going to happen post-launch, which could be the precursor to a paid expansion, or rather 2 paid expansions in the near future. Now, normally I would say that this is just my hopium talking, but this leak also contains something else that we talked about earlier that we're going to dive into now. So I'd say the thing that was more surprising with the title leak that happened, in my opinion, was the potential confirmation that we're going to be getting multiple paid expansions for Assassin's Creed Red/Shadows, which I think is great news. Having substantial paid expansions for this game could be a great way to keep players satisfied without overwhelming them too much. Now, plus it seems like this is a sign that Assassin's Creed Shadows is not going to be as much of a live service game as other Ubisoft games like Skull and Bones. It's not going to be a base game that keeps evolving or changing with various patches, and sure, other recent Assassin's Creed games had also paid expansions and DLCs after release, but in my opinion, I don't think those games were designed with the same kind of offline single player drive that Assassin's Assassin's Creed Shadows is. AC Codename Red is a part of Ubisoft's direct response to the past few years of unfortunate financial disappointment and disdain from gamers. I'm not expecting this game to launch with a ton of microtransactions. Now, if it is the case that there's going to be like time savers and stuff like that on top of multiple paid expansions, that could be a huge sign of confidence in the project, which I'm always happy to see from a big publisher and developer like Ubisoft. So with all this being said, when do you think this game is going to come out? Will it release this year, or is it going to be something that happens in 2025? Because personally, I'm starting to have doubts that a 2024 release date is still happening. Now, Ubisoft has said multiple times that they're planning on making Codename Red the quote biggest blockbuster of 2024, but with every day that passes with no official news, I start to wonder if they've quietly pushed the game back into 2025. Now, it is entirely possible that Ubisoft decides to reveal the game's title and gameplay later this year, or even later this month, possibly next month, and then get the game out by the holiday season, but that would be a ridiculously fast turnaround for a AAA game like this. And sure, the project has been revealed several years ago, but I personally don't consider the AC Red teaser to be a true teaser for the game. Like, yeah, I guess it confirmed the existence, which I guess is a teaser, but we always knew that that was just going to be a title to appease investors and players. It was kind of a confidence building move. When I think of a teaser, I'm thinking like an actual real teaser for the new Assassin's Creed, and if Ubisoft reveals that later this year and then launches the game by the end of December, that would be a reveal to launch turnaround of just 8 months, which would be a record for them. Now, ultimately, I do think that there still is a chance that this game releases by the end of this year, but I personally am starting to lean towards the 2025 delay theory. I just don't think Ubisoft higher-ups would be down for the quick turnaround and that short of an advertising campaign. Now, it could be that Ubisoft may be doing their best to scale their marketing campaigns down a bit, but this is Assassin's Creed. It's like one of their biggest franchises. Ubisoft was calling this their biggest blockbuster of 2024, and there's no way that Ubisoft drops it with it barely having 8 months of people knowing what the official title is. So if Ubisoft reveals the game title and gameplay in the next coming months, I'm willing to bet and almost guarantee that that's also going to come with an announcement of a delay to the first half of 2025. Obviously, they don't want to push the game back too far into 2025 because then they would be competing and just going straight head to head with Grand Theft Auto 6, which would be an absolute disaster for AC Red sales numbers. Like, seriously guys, that's like fighting fire with a literal wooden spoon. It would be an absolute nightmare to try to compete with GTA 6 in 2025, at least in the middle and the later half of 2025. Now, they could probably sneak it in early 2025, as that seems to be pretty open right now. And I think Ubisoft would also benefit from allowing the public to get properly hyped for this game for a few months before asking them to put down $70 for it. And sure, you could say that Ubisoft may be completely fine with announcing it and releasing a mainline Assassin's Creed game with that kind of timeline, but with how much stock they put into the phrases like biggest blockbuster and quote the future of Assassin's Creed RPGs, I would imagine that Ubisoft wants at least a little bit of time to spam ads and build hype around the internet with the logo and gameplay clips. Even though we've known about this game and have been excited for it for quite some time, we've always known of this game as Assassin's Creed Codename Red and not the alleged new title of Assassin's Creed Shadows, which honestly, it's a little odd that Ubisoft still hasn't even shown us the official logo or confirmed the characters. But then again, Ubisoft employees have been the biggest leakers for Ubisoft this year, and that generally wouldn't be the case if the game wasn't coming up on some kind of big news drop. So maybe Ubisoft will pull a fast one on us and start the marketing campaign early, especially now that the title has allegedly been leaked. But at the same time, they may want to get ahead of the news of a delay so that they can get players more hyped effectively without focusing on the bad news. Either way, we should be getting some solid information from Ubisoft themselves within the next couple of months, possibly in May. Most likely it'll be at a Ubisoft Forward in June, but let's just go ahead and say that the future for AC Red is a tad bit uncertain this month. But what do you guys think about all of this alleged information for Assassin's Creed Red? Do you believe that the game is going to be officially titled Assassin's Creed Shadows? Is that the legit title? And if so, do you think it's a good one? Let me know what your thoughts are down below. Don't forget to enter the PS5 giveaway. Those details are in the pinned comment. Hit the like button if you've enjoyed my coverage. Subscribe to the channel so you're not missing out on any future gaming news and updates. And until next time, this has been Wes, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.